I'm now realizing my outfit is very monochromatic, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. Let's talk about the Canadian Grand Prix. Actually, as usual, let's talk about stuff that happened before the weekend. First and foremost, Ocon will not continue at Alpine after 2024. That Monaco incident, they said it will have consequences, and it did. Obviously, it's not just the Monaco incident. These kind of things don't happen in a bubble, but that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back, and Alpine has said, yeah, enough, we can't deal with it anymore. So who's gonna replace him? I don't know, maybe Jack Doohan. They also have Victor Martins, who's currently in F2, and maybe more. I'm not extremely familiar with the driver's market. I'm also not sure that Pierre would stay with Alpine. He's not really satisfied with the team's performance. But then on the other hand, I'm not sure like what other options he has. And if the option is between staying in F1, just being in a crappy team, then not being in F1 at all, I think all of them, not just Pierre, would choose staying in F1. So that opens up the seat for 2025 for potentially a new face in F1, which is very exciting. Then we have Perez, who signed with Red Bull for 2 more years. From like what I understood, it's like 1 year definitely, and then 2026 would depend on his performance in 2025. It was very expected, I think, from Red Bull. I think it keeps things stable. Although Checo's not really performing well, I think they just don't want to mess around and find out. But it was pretty disappointing because I do want to see someone else in that Red Bull seat. Whether it's going to be Yuki, Daniel, Liam, or Isaac Hadjar from F2, Carlos. So expected but disappointing. Another contract that has been renewed is Yuki with RB for 2 more years, right? I don't know why I didn't write that down. No, it's actually just 1. So for 2025, Yuki's at RB. And that's all the contract talk that we had. I mean, there were rumors that Carlos has finalized things with Williams. I don't know if that's like true. Also rumors that Daniel is also gonna stay at RB, but nothing announced yet. We also got the new regulations for 2026 and on. Not a huge tech girly, so I'm not exactly sure what everything means, but like the key points, the like major things from my understanding is 1, the cars are going to be smaller and lighter, which is good. There's going to be more battery power, which was like a known fact, everyone knew that. And also they're going to have a button to push for extra energy when they're following another car, so more overtaking opportunities. DRS is no more. We're gonna have mode X, which is like the default one, and then mode Z, which is like the DRS, the new DRS, with both the rear wing and the front wing changing angles, I guess. I don't know. So that's on the technical side. That's gonna make the cars go faster and for F1 to be more competitive and more exciting. But then we also have upgrades which are safer, which is great, and also more eco-friendly. And moving on to the weekend, Canada gives me Australia vibes. I'm not sure why. Even the tracks are like similar in my mind. No idea why. But then I feel like the vibes are similar. We also get a lot of good content from the drivers off the track, which is always fun. Canada is also known for rain and like quick weather changes. And rain is always exciting in F1. It always mixes things up, makes opportunities. We also, I think collectively, all kind of thought, or at least hoped, for this to be Oscar Piastri's first win. Am I crazy for saying that? Like, I feel like a lot of people, like, I don't know why, but there was a consensus among all of us that this might be the day. It wasn't, but I mean, why did we all think that? I don't know. But yeah, so that was also like fun going with that mindset into the weekend. So starting with the free practices, not a lot happened. FP1, boring. At the beginning of it, no one like even ran because the pit exit was closed because of the rain. And then no one really did anything for most of it. FP2, kind of similar, more dry than wet, like mixed dry and wet. so we didn't get much action, just Max having a power unit issue, which they replaced for FP3. Overall, Mercedes looked very strong. They had a new front wing. Daniel also seemed strong, and Red Bull and Ferrari seemed to be struggling. And yeah, FP3 was the only dry practice session. And also one more thing before we get into quali, the groundhogs. Oh my god. They're really, really cute, but they have no survival instinct. What are they doing running into the track? Could they not hear the engines and the cars? How does that not scare them off? I don't know. Thankfully, I mean, I don't think any animals were harmed during this weekend. I'm pretty sure, but don't take my word for it. So anyways, moving on to quali. We had a lot of track evolution during quali and like the weekend as a whole because of the rain, and also I think just because of the circuit. But once again, don't take my word for it. That's what I understood from what the commentators said. So yeah, with the track evolution, it's kind of tricky to know like when you should go out for a lap to like try to set a lap. You have a specific amount of tires, so you don't want to waste tires. So with the track evolution, you'd want to go near the end of the session to get a good lap. But also there was chances of rain, so you don't want to risk that. And obviously you don't want to risk like a yellow flag or a red flag or something that would prevent you from putting in a good lap at the end of the session. So tricky. Nice to like have that kind of tension, and it also made it feel like it was anyone's game. So in Q1, everyone I wanted to get through got through. So both Ferraris, both McLarens, both RBs, and both Williams. Yay! So this is Logan's first Q2 of this season. That was nice. And then in Q2, I wrote all caps, I'm shocked. Both Ferraris are out. What the fuck is happening? Is Ferrari back with doing bad strategy? What got him out is that they chose to not use a new set of softs for both drivers. So I'm scared of where things are going. Ferrari really saw, oh, we have a chance to like challenge Red Bull for the Constructors' Championship. That's fine. We won't take that chance. They like crumbled under the pressure, I think. So both Ferraris are out. There's rain drizzling, and Q3 starts, which wasn't as intense as Q1 and Q2, but I'm very proud of Daniel Ricciardo, who qualified P5. Feels like a reply to someone who criticized him earlier in the weekend. No, but actually I do want to talk about it for a second, because like there's a lot of talk around Daniel and like what is he even doing in F1? And like I'm not delusional, okay? I know he's like not in his prime anymore, but he's actively and continuously getting better after probably the worst time in his career, both like performance-wise but also mentally. So like I feel like the whole talk is not really relevant. But otherwise, Q3 was very tight, even though it wasn't as intense as I said. The rain never really came. It just kept like kind of drizzling and then it dried out, I think. Honestly, it was such a long time ago. I can't even remember. And George also got his pose. What did I just say? George got pole. I wanted to say that he did his pose. He's so unserious. I love him. Actually, I'm really becoming a George Russell fan. He's such an icon. Anyways, yeah, I am a Brussels sprout, apparently. He also did a good, I don't know how to say it in English. His timing was like perfectly on the second. It was 1 minute and 12 seconds. And that's it, like 0.000. So that was beautiful. And then Max Verstappen equaled that time and did 1:12.000. So the gap between them was 0.000. So that was also beautiful and also very cool. And then we continued to the race, which started wet. First wet race for me. Very exciting. I am anxious of the rain, but also excited for the rain, because like anything can happen in the rain, which what makes it both exciting and anxiety inducing. So everyone started on intermediate tires except for the two Haas boys, who both started on wet tires, which was a good gamble for them, at least at the beginning, because then they had to pit to intermediates and they lost their advantage. But that was a nice attempt, and it was cool to see, honestly. They made up a lot of places. Kevin was at one point P3 doing fastest laps, and then the fun kind of stops. Not for like the race. The race was very good. The race was exciting, eventful, some very beautiful and good overtakes, but just bad for like the people that I like. So starting off with Leclerc engine problems. Of course, this man just has a curse on him. I swear to God, how can he be so unlucky? I have no idea. And then Daniel had a false start, kind of, not really, but okay. So he got a 5-second penalty for that, which he served in a pit stop. But he also lost places, like on lap 1. So not a very nice start for him. Then Logan, first he had he went off turn 6, I think. It continued the race, but in last place. And then he lost control again and spun out and couldn't keep the engine alive. And also I think there was damage to the car. So poor Logan, I'm very sad for him. And that brought up the safety car, which probably cost Lando a second win. But I mean, we're not gonna complain about that because that what also got him his first win. You know, if my mother had balls, she would be my dad. We know the drill. It's fine, like that's just racing. But yeah, the safety car caught Lando up, closed the gap. Max, Piastri, Russell, like the people behind Lando all pitted. Lando like missed the pits. And when he came out again, oh God, I mixed it all up. Let me rewatch the race for a second because I am so confused right now. So Lando was leading the race because he overtook both Max and Russell on track. Beautiful safety car. So Norris doesn't pit. Max, Russell, and Oscar are pitting because Lando, I think, just missed the pits. And then Lando comes in, and because he was behind the safety car, he lost the time, like the gap for a pit stop. Okay, so Lando comes out third. So then when it was actually time to go on slicks, Lando stayed out longer than Max and everyone else. And then when he came out of the pits, he came out very close to Max. It was so close. It was so close. Oh my God. He couldn't do it, but it was very, very exciting. Very fun to watch. But obviously Lando had no grip. He was on the wet side of the track with like fresh tires, not warmed up enough, with Max having all the right conditions to just go past him. And when Lando was staying out, I wrote, could be horrible or genius. So yeah, the stress of it was very fun. It gave me a lot of adrenaline and it was just very exciting, you know? Meanwhile, when all that happened, Alex had a beautiful double overtake. It was very, very, very pretty. And Charles was retired from the race. They put him on slicks, which, why would they do that? It was still raining and the track was way too wet for that. Even though like the rain was supposed to stop in like 2 laps and then he would go faster, that still, no, I'm sorry. No, that was the wrong call. Again, Ferrari slipping back into their bad strategy days. And also then he stood still. Like after they changed his tires, he didn't start going. I'm not sure if he like couldn't go because of the engine or he was like doing something in the steering wheel to fix the thing, because they did fix it afterwards. But yeah, long pit stop, went out last, of course, no grip on those slick tires, and then he was out of the race. Okay, so we got that sorted out. Then we had Perez going off and breaking off his rear wing, which put him out of the race. And then Carlos spinning, hitting Alex, putting both out of the race and bringing out a second safety car. During that safety car, both Mercedes went in to the pits. So they had fresher tires, managed to overtake Piastri, sadly. And also Yuki had a spin, or not a spin, he like went on the grass. He kind of spun out, which put him, I don't think he was last at the end, but he was out of the points, which is a shame. Could have been double points for RB, but they did get 4 with Danny. So that's good at least. At least they have that. Both Alpines, I think, were in the points as well. What? Actually, let me double check that because my mind is not right today. So wait, let me check. Okay, so Max won, Norris right after him, and Russell afterwards. Hamilton, Piastri, Alonso, Stroll, Ricciardo, Gasly, and Ocon. Yes, both Alpines were in the points from like very low starting positions. So I mean, it's the magic of rain. And Yuki wasn't last, he was 14th. Like, out of the remaining cars in the race, he was 14th and Joe was a lap down. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My mind is very scrambled for some reason, so I'm not sure if this was coherent or well said. I'm not sure if that's everything I wanted to say today, but that's what I got for you. Overall, as I said, very exciting race, very eventful. Would love more rainy races. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy these memes. Bye!